Today I'm doing my pulled beef sandwich. I'm gonna share with you this recipe that, you know, this isn't traditional barbecue. We're using some beef. We're gonna put it out on the smoker, cook it low and slow, get it really nice and tender. Then I'm gonna put together this sandwich. You know, we're gonna do it on an onion roll. It's gonna be pulled beef, seasoned to perfection. I'm gonna caramelize some onions while that beef's resting. Then I'm gonna serve it with the horseradish mayo sauce. So this isn't your regular barbecue, but it's something that's gonna be really great if you're looking for something to do. Labor Day weekend's coming up. Got a lot of football games coming on, college starting back, and the pros are around the corner. If you got a group getting together and you want something good to cook, give this beef recipe a try. What I have today are 2 chuck roasts. Now these chuck roasts weigh right at 3 pounds each. The reason I'm using chuck roast is because you can see the marbling in it. It's got a, you know, nice little amount of fat in it that's gonna render away as we cook it out here on the pit, and it's gonna leave some awesome flavor. This beef's gonna be juicy, it's gonna be really tender, and it's gonna be melting in your mouth. You know, a lot of times you see chopped brisket or bottom round or something like that. Well, we're doing this chuck roast because I really like that flavor, and chuck roast is pretty inexpensive. You know, you can usually find it on sale for $3 a pound, so you can feed a lot of people with one of these, pretty inexpensive. For my seasoning, I want to get on it today. I use my AP rub, which is a combination of salt, pepper, and garlic, but what's cool about it is you can turn that into other rubs by adding some few ingredients. So today I added some chili powder, I added a little bit of herbs, oregano, and a little parsley. Then I also added some onion powder to it. So all of a sudden I've got a rub that's really great on beef. I didn't put any sugar in it because I don't want it sweet. We want to really get some good savory, salty flavor on the outside of this chuck roast and get it out on the pit. So first thing I'm gonna do, you're not putting anything on it, I'm just gonna give it a good seasoning. And you really want some flavor, so not super heavy, but make sure you get everything covered. You want some of this salt and peppers and the herbs and the chili powder on it. This is what's gonna make that kind of crust on the outside, build us up some bark, and when we get it all pulled up, it's gonna have little crunchy bits all in this pulled beef. See, these chuck roasts have pretty good thickness to them. That's what you wanna see, and it's gonna cook down, be nice. So I've got them seasoned up real good. I'm gonna let them hang out. I'm not gonna, you can let them set for a couple hours if you want to, but I'm gonna get them on the pit today as quick as I get it up to temperature. I'm cooking outside on my Yoder today. I'm gonna be cooking about 250 degrees, but whatever grill you have, just maintain the temperature on. You can cook this on a Weber, you can cook it on a regular pit, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a fancy smoker or anything. Just control your heat and get about 250 degrees. If you're cooking it on a gasser, you want it about a medium temperature, just hold it right in that range. These chuck roasts cook pretty similar to a pork butt. We're going up to 195 degrees. We want them really tender, so we're gonna smoke them the first few hours. Then I'm gonna get them in a pan and get some broth in there, beef broth, and just let them simmer in that. They really break down. So let me go outside and get the cooker fired up. We'll show you how we put these on in just a second. Okay, we're out here at the cooker, and I'm using my Yoder today. I've got some pecan pellets in it because pecan really goes great with beef. It's gonna put some really nice mild flavor on it, not too strong, and it's gonna be perfect on this chuck roast. I've got the pit set at 250 degrees, so if you're cooking on any other kind of smoker, just hold it right around the 250 range. These being about 3 pounds each, we're probably looking 5 to 6 hour cook time, but I wanna get them on the grill, get some good flavor on them first before I get them wrapped up in the juice and all that. So we're gonna cook them on both sides. We're gonna flip these over after about 1.5 hours, let some flavor build on both sides of the roast, but just gonna get them on here right now, centered up. Get the lid closed, so that good smoke get on them. Let your cooker do the work. So in about 1.5 hours, I'll come back out, shoot another video, we'll flip them over. Let's get them cooking even on both sides on this chuck roast. We're gonna make an awesome pulled beef sandwich today. Okay, it's been about 1.5 hours, and I want to get these chucks flipped over, check out how they're cooking. Looking good. You can see we got a little bark forming. Get a little crunchy on top a little bit, and I want to get them kind of browned on all sides, so just gonna give them a little flip here. So we got going on with this side. There we go. All right, we're just gonna let them cook about another 1.5 hours. It'll be time to get them in a pan. I'm gonna put a little beef broth in there with them, give them a little moisture. Then I'm gonna let them just get tender where they'll just pull apart. so we can make these pulled beef sandwiches. Okay, it's been about 3 hours on these chuck roasts on the pit, so we're gonna check them out, and I want to see what the internal's looking like. They're looking good. They got really good color. I see some moisture coming up, so that fat's rendering. Let's check them right in here. And I'm looking for, I want to catch them around the 150 mark before they get there, and get them in the pan and get them in some juice. So almost, let's go hit 150 probably. 149. I'll take that. Let's see what this one is. Yeah, these are just right, ready to wrap. We're calling them. It's all the smoke they need right around this point here. You see we got some nice color on them. We'll get them in the pan here and get some of this beef broth in there with them, just for a little added moisture and flavor. Now we're really going to cook these roast tender. I've just got about 32 ounces of beef broth here that I've warmed up in the microwave a little bit, just so I'm not putting anything cold or room temp on this hot meat. There's plenty of moisture in this pan. I'm just going to get some foil over the top of it. It's going to produce some steam in there, keep that heat trapped, where we can really break that roast down. We're looking probably another 2 hours at 250. We'll come back and check it and see if it's fork tender. That's what I'm wanting. I'm not looking to slice this chuck roast. I'm looking to have it to where I can pull it apart. Of course, we're going to rest it, let it slow down in that juice, soak back up some of that moisture. Then I'm going to shred it because we're making this pulled beef sandwich with it. And I'm going to show you all that and how we caramelize the onions for that in about 2 hours once we get this roast off the cooker. Okay, it's been 2 hours, so I want to check the chuck roast here and see how we're doing. I want them to be, right in the at least 195. It wouldn't hurt my feelings if they get up close to 200, because we're wanting to cook them really tender. I know they're going to be juicy, so I'm not really worried about drying them out like you would a brisket or other piece of meat. They look good. They've shrunk down some. We're still holding together real well. Let's stick this thermopop in and see what kind of temperatures we're looking at. Should stabilize. Look at that, 195. That's exactly where I want to see them go. Move it around a little bit and see what we're. Feels real soft. That's kind of the feel when you're sticking that probe in. Closer to 200 back there. That's okay. That's soft. I know this one's probably in the same boat. Let's see here. 195, 196. So we're all in that range, right around between 195, 200 degrees. I'm calling these done. But it's all important with big meats, big cut of roast like this. I need to go inside, see over 196, 97. That's right. You want to rest these chuck roasts just like you would a brisket, pork butt, whole shoulder, whatever you're cooking. This big meat, you want to get it off, let it set for at least 2 hours. I want it to slow down, stop cooking. All right, I'm going to get it off here. I'm going to take it inside. I'm going to vent it just to let some of the steam out for about 5 minutes. Then let it sit in there on the cutting board, in the pan, in the juice, covered back up loosely. And then I'm going to caramelize the onions on the grill. I'm going to show you that. But really it needs about 2 hours, good rest time. It's going to be perfect. We're going to pull this apart and I'll show you how we assemble this pulled beef sandwich. Okay, now that the chuck roast is off, went inside, cut up some more onions. So I'm going to caramelize some onions to go on this pulled beef sandwich we're going to do. So if you're cooking this on your grill at home, you're doing these onions outside, you're going to have to jack the temp up. I moved the Yoder up to 400 degrees. I got my cast iron skillet on here, and so far I've just got a tablespoon of butter in here. I'm letting melt a little bit. It's going to help these onions get to caramelizing. I'm going to put just a touch of olive oil on there too, kind of keep the smoke point down a little bit. But I've got some thin onions rings that I've cut here. Did them with just a knife. Got a mandolin, you can do that. Just ring them out. You need 3 or 4 small onions. You don't have to do them all at the same time, but they're going to cook down a lot. That's why I have so many here. But I just want to put some in my iron skillet. It's going to take about 30 minutes to get them caramelized all the way down. This many onions. So, as they cook down, I'll put this other batch in. We're just taking them to their kind of a golden color. They're going to get real sweet. It's going to go real well with that beef once we get it pulled up. You can see the seasoning. That's just that all-purpose seasoning. That salt, garlic, black pepper. Probably about a tablespoon of olive oil there. Just get the lid down and let these cook. All right, I've sweated these onions down. It's been about 15 minutes. They still got a little ways to go, but that's something I like to put on them here at this stage. I think they got soft. A little bit of balsamic vinegar, just a little bit.
Kind of brown them up a little. We're still gonna keep cooking them down. Want them to kind of candy, they're caramelized, so that's what you're looking for. All right, these onions are exactly about where I want them, caramelized up. I know they're gonna be sweet. They have a really good flavor to them. So I'm gonna get these off here, get that next batch working. You really want them good and soft, and they're got some good color on them. That's what you're looking for. But that's it, caramelized onions. I'll show you how we're gonna make this sandwich here. We're gonna go back inside and pull some of that beef and start assembling here in just a few minutes. Okay, now that the chuck roast has rested for about 2 hours, it's time to go ahead and pull it apart. And you know, you can use a fork, you can use whatever you want, but I find it's easy just to put on some gloves and just get in there with your hands. And it's kind of, you know, like a little bit like pulling pork, but we just want to separate it, and we cooked it to where it's really, you know, falling apart tender anyway, and that's what you want to see here. But I left a little, you know, I still have the juice reserved over there, the broth that we cooked in, and it's really got some good flavor. And I left just a little bit in the bottom of our platter here so I can mix it with this roast, get it tossed up, keep it good and moist, because you don't want it to dry out. If you see any thick parts of fat like this, you know, you can kind of pitch them to the side. Nobody really wants to eat a big mouthful of fat, but the majority of it has rendered, left the meat really flavorful. Don't get much easier than this. You can see it's got some real pretty smoke color. The Yoder does a good job on beef, getting a nice little smoke ring on it. Started with 6 pounds raw. We've probably got about 3 pounds of good pulled beef here. So you yield about 50% on chuck roast, which is good. We lost some to the shrinkage because of the water, but now I'm just going to toss it in this juice. It's in the bottom of my platter. All right, earlier I talked about that pulled beef sandwich I was going to show you how to make, and that's why I cooked all this meat today. What we have is onion buns cut in half, just sandwich style. What I'm going to do with them, it's going to come with some of our pulled beef. You know, get a good serving amount on there. Don't be shy with it. This is going to feed a lot of people. It's a good hearty sandwich. So if you're, you know, at a tailgate or got the guys over watching football, they're going to love it. Then we're going to top it with a little of these caramelized onions we did earlier out on the grill. Little or as much as you like. And then we're going to hit it with this horseradish sauce that I made up. And this one's real simple. It's some Duke's mayo and some horseradish sauce. And I'll have the ratio for you on there, the recipe. But, you know, just give it a good little horseradish sauce. You're going to top it with your bun. We're going to do a little cut job on it. If you're serving at a party, you might want to serve them in halves, but you know, depends on how hungry the folks are. Let's give one of these a try and see what we're working with here. Awesome sandwich. Something different than barbecue. Try this pulled beef, man. It's easy to do on your grill or smoker. All about cooking that meat till it's fall apart tender. If you really want to soup this up, once you get that sandwich made, take that reserved drippings that you have from that pan, give that sandwich a dip. All of a sudden you got a pulled beef dip. Hey, if you like what we're doing here on our channel, please subscribe. We're gonna put out new videos all the time. If you want some more recipes, visit HowToBBQRight.com. Got a ton of recipes there, more videos, all kinds of good barbecue information. As always, follow us on our Facebook and Twitter. We love the interaction, social media. Send us the comments, any questions you have, and if you have any special requests, hey, I'll try to get to them. Till next time.